Oh man, this right here is pretty special. I'm really excited about this set. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Justin Collects. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date on all my upcoming content. And, go check out the backlog. Help a small channel out. We got long-term YouTube goals we are striving for. And, short-term goals by the end of the year. Anyway, I am super excited for this set. I've been looking forward to this ever since Valaverse announced this last year. I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. If you've seen my channel, any of my collection tours, you've seen my huge uh, Power Ranger display. And of course, that means I was a big fan of Jason David Frank, original Green Ranger. He was a mainstay amongst Power Rangers. He stayed involved for the most time, as much as he could. It's no secret that he did butt heads with Saban and Hasbro at times. And from what I understand, this storyline with this movie, he originally wanted it to be in the Power Rangers universe. But whether it be Saban or Hasbro, they didn't want to touch it. And so he went to bat in the sun. I believe he was good friends with Aaron here. And forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I don't want to butcher it and disrespect or anything. Uh, they were good friends, so they got this thing funded, and I believe it's still in development now. It was set back due to Jason David Frank's early passing, RIP. Uh, that of course affected the whole community. And I know there is a point of contention with this inside the Power Rangers community, but I'm letting you know right now, I don't care. I'm excited to have it. The figures look great. I know Valaverse does great product, very high quality. I'm just super excited to bust this open and see what we're working with here. And yeah, I've just take a look at this awesome packaging. That great promo shots on the back, the sides. You got White Dragon on the side, Dragon Prime on the other side. This nice open box window with everything they come with displayed. They really just, this packaging is awesome. It almost hurts to open it, but not really, because I want to get these figures in hand. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get to it and break the White Dragon and Dragon Prime out of their plastic and cardboard prison. So again, I do want to point out just this packaging is absolutely amazing. And when you slide the plastic tray out, you get this amazing just artwork on the inside right there. They really went above and beyond on this packaging, and I really do appreciate it. I think this is definitely one of, I tend to throw a lot of my boxes away, but this is one I will be holding on to. This is awesome. All right, guys, so we've got White Dragon and Dragon Prime out of the packaging, and just messing around with them a little bit in hand. These figures are really, really nice. Yeah! Just the sculpting, the detail, the paintwork, everything's great. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, something that I have heard, some people have problems with, is this is a two-pack, and both figures are the exact same mold, like both base figures is the exact same. From what I can tell, I'm not an expert, but just looking over it, of course, it's the same. And a lot of people kind of complain that, oh, they just want the Jason David Frank figure and they don't want to pay that two-pack price. I'm looking at it objectively, and I think, first of all, you're taking a risk on an IP, and molds are expensive. So, and they are both characters from the movie. Of course, we haven't seen the movie yet, but it's the hero and the villain. So it makes sense to do it this way. It's a way to maximize profit, minimize risk, and you get both characters. And from what I can tell from the trailer, I've watched it quite a few times, it's just very accurate. It's the same suit. It appears to be very similar, power sets, if not the exact same power set. So I don't have an issue with it at all. They both look amazing. So I want to just take a closer look at the White Dragon first, because that's, of course, the main draw to this two-pack. So you can tell here, just, oh, he looks awesome. So the gold paint is really nice. Has that, it's not like that, what we've seen on some previous Power Ranger figures where it's kind of like a mustardy gold. This is just a nice gold, and we'll have some comparisons later on in the video. And just the sculpt work on this suit, all that texture. Of course, it is pinless. It's really, really nice. The proportions are great too. And I have a lot of good things to say about this articulation. I mean, we'll get more into articulation later, but I absolutely love this butterfly joint. It is buttery smooth, and you actually get really good range out of it. And the armor doesn't limit that articulation right there. The main thing that's limited is the helmet, but you can't get around that because you have this piece and with how big the helmet is. Oh, it's so nice. There are no paint smudges or anything on mine that I can tell. Oh, I might have spoke a little too soon. It looks like I got a little bit of yellow on that silver. But that's fine. I've seen much more egregious. So I wish that wasn't there, but honestly, it took me this long to notice it, so it must not be too bad. Just, oh, really great. My biggest complaint, besides, I mean, that's not even a complaint because there's nothing you can do about that. But it is a decision not to have a ab crunch, and I feel like that was probably done just to not break up the sculpt. And honestly, I prefer this look a lot more, so you don't get a whole lot of range forward, but or back really. But it doesn't bother me. I like it. I like that choice, honestly. You have the really nice translucent blue on that energy effect sword. And it does come with spare gauntlets, so you can swap this out if you don't want this effect. And of course, I believe you can just swap sides if you want to. But yeah, this figure looks awesome, guys. I'm just really gushing over this. I've been so excited for this. I can't wait to see the movie. At this point, I don't even care if it's objectively a bad movie. I will still enjoy it. Of course, I say that now before seeing it. And so these armor pieces up here, the ones on the shoulders are attached. I believe this is, yeah, that's a floating piece. And I believe, yep, there's a peg on the back. So you can take that off if you wanted to. And then looking at Dragon Prime, of course, like I said, it's the exact same mold, basically the same figure. You're just getting a, different paint. But oh man, this red and black looks so nice. This design really makes me think of like a Black Knight kind of figure, like with Mythic Legions. Just look at, oh, that helmet, the red eyes. It's absolutely amazing. Same texture, red blade instead of the blue, so you're not getting as much of like a translucent effect. It is translucent, it's just harder for it to come across. Just awesome figure. All right, and for accessories, you get a stand for each of them. The writing, the white dragon, the logo, all that good stuff. One in red and one in blue. Set those right there. You also get replacement gauntlets for the bladed hands, and all their accessories are the same. So same molds for the hands. So Dragon Prime, you get his replacement gauntlet to take the blade off as well. For the extra hands, you get a set of open palm hands. As I dropped one on the floor, the silver paint on the knuckles is amazing. And you get a set of like grabbing hands. You can also use these to hold the helmets, which is probably what I'll do. And of course, like I said, for Dragon Prime, same open palm hands, silver paint on the knuckles, and the grabbing hands. And of course, they both come with their fists on out of package. And here is the Jason David Frank head sculpt. He's got, I guess that's a tattoo he has in the movie. Now, a lot of people have said that they don't like this likeness. They don't think it looks like him.
Whatever, dude. Whatever.
And I honestly thought the same from the promo pictures online. But getting it in hand, in my opinion, this looks like him. I like the likeness. I think it looks great. And this head sculpt, we'll get into it, but this head sculpt looks amazing on the figure. So I like it. And then this is Aaron. Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, so I don't want to butcher it. But I think that looks pretty good too. Pretty good likenesses. And here are our figures with the civilian heads popped on, and I took the gauntlets off with the blades and put the regular replacement gauntlets on. The heads swap very easy. Those helmeted heads pop off super smoothly. The gauntlets, all you do is pop the hands off. They slide right off. You slide the new ones on. These hand pegs are very long, so be careful. I prefer a longer, hand peg like that.
What did he say?
So the hands don't pop off super easy, but the downfall to a longer peg is you run the risk of it snapping and getting stuck in there. So just be careful, especially taking them out of the packaging, because they are very secure in that plastic packaging out of box. And stay tuned after the articulation segment because, of course, during the size comparison, I'm going to do several head swaps, especially like with the JDF head and that body with all my Lightning collection, because Valaverse did come out and say that they made all the hand and the neck pegs all compatible with Lightning collection. So that is amazing. So with them both being the same mold, the articulation is going to be the same with both figures. So we're just going to stick with the White Dragon here. And I'll pop this helmeted head back on. So you are going to get a lot more range of motion with the civilian head as far as looking down, because of the sculpt of this helmet. It's going to keep him from really looking down too much. He will look down a little bit, and he'll look up that far. And you get a little bit of tilt, and he will turn, but the armor piece will get in the way of that. He has the smoothest butterfly joint I've ever experienced in my entire life. It also has the upper arm swivel, and I very much appreciate that this armor piece is attached to this part of the arm and not this part, so it makes everything look a lot more natural as it's turning. And really great looking double jointed elbows. You get that much out of them because this armor does hinder it a little bit, and you get, of course, the turning, the hands, and the hinge up and down. And the arm will go out that far. The armor does kind of hinder that a little bit when you can turn it and go a little further, but it's a double ball peg system up here and down here, so you'll get all kinds of movement and tilt. Go back that far and forward. Not too much, but enough. It has drop down hips, so drop them down, you'll kick out that far, and do the splits, and the double jointed knees. The legs are a little thick, but it's proportioned good. The figure looks great. It does have a boot cut and an upper thigh swivel. The ankle is on a rocker, and we'll hinge that much down, and you're not going to get much up because of the armor right there. Now for size, our figures do come out to right at about 6.5 inches tall. You can see you do get a little more height with the helmet than the civilian head. So again, seeing how they're the exact same mold, exact same size, I'm just going to be doing the size comparisons just with White Dragon for space sake. And I wanted to first compare him to the Mezco Green Ranger. You can tell Mezco scales a little bit bigger, but honestly, it doesn't look bad at all. I think those can look very well together. The Mezco is a little bit taller, but you can fudge it. But of course, the White Dragon figures were not made to be scaled with the Mezco. They were made to be in that 6-inch scale with Lightning Collection. So here we have the White Dragon next to the remastered Hasbro Lightning Collection Green Ranger and the OG Wave 1 Lightning Collection White Tiger Ranger. And we'll go ahead and continue the comparisons with all the different suits and Power Rangers that Jason David Frank wore as Tommy Oliver. Here we have the Zeo Red Ranger and the Turbo Red Ranger. And before anybody says, I know that this Turbo Red was brought out as TJ, but Tommy was Turbo Red first, so it works. Hush. Then we have White Dragon next to the Ninjetti White Falcon Ranger and the Dino Thunder Black Ranger. And I forgot just how a lot of people complained about these Ninjetti figures, but I really like them. I feel like they're really good quality. However, this Dino Thunder Black Ranger is probably one of the worst Lightning Collection figures I have in my collection. It's super loose, just the quality is just not there. It looks amazing, but it's hard getting him to stand up because all the joints are loose. You hardly get any motion out of the neck. It's very disappointing. Last but certainly not least, we have the White Dragon next to the first release of Lord Draken. I also have the Draken Evo 3, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive, but he's on a flight stand in the back of my shelf, and I really honestly don't want to get him down. But you can see there are some, you can kind of see, I know Jason David Frank didn't like the whole Lord Draken character and the way it went. I can kind of see the similarities between what he was thinking with his original design versus how Lord Draken turned out here. At least that's just what I heard, that he wasn't a fan of how Draken turned out. Rumors, just believe what you want. So now we're going to do some head swaps and see how all the Lightning Collection heads in chronological order of Power Rangers timeline look and fit on our White Dragon figure here. So this was the head that they used for the original White Tiger Ranger release, but also they used the same head sculpt for the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger and Putty 2-pack, which was the first Green Ranger they released. And you can tell it's a little off because it's so small.
That's what she said.
But this was, just by comparison to any of the other head sculpts, this is definitely one of their smaller head sculpts. And here's the Valaverse head sculpt for comparison. So it's just a small head sculpt to begin with. And here is the head sculpt from the first single pack release of the Green Ranger, the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, with the green bandana. I believe this is also the exact same head sculpt that came with the Foot Soldier Tommy in the TMNT crossover that was a 2-pack with the Raphael Red Ranger. I believe it's the same. But that fits on there a lot better. Proportionally, it looks good. The only thing is the hair. This armor does get in the way of the hair right there. So you have a hard time you could probably work it, but it fits on there good, and I think it looks pretty nice. So, of course, I'm going with in-universe, the Power Rangers timeline, the head sculpts they went with, and not the order of release that Lightning Collection did. So, this is the remastered Green Ranger head sculpt. So, this head sculpt's really soft. Like, the face is really soft for me. I feel like the likeness isn't there. And, like, I feel like the first one was honestly better. It's just really soft. It's really light-skinned. And, again, the armor does get in the way of the hair. And so the white Ninjetti head won't fit on there, which isn't a big deal. Just because for these figures, they went with a different size neck peg. So it's definitely not going to work. I was trying to get it to work. I heated it up, and it's just not going on there. And I definitely do not want to. It's not going to work. Yeah. And you definitely don't want to force it too much and risk breaking this amazing figure. But here is our metallic armor White Ranger head sculpt. We got a different head sculpt with it. It looks a little comic booky, to be honest with you. And we still have the same problem with the long hair back here. But you can kind of get them looking down if you wanted to. Now, this one is the head that comes with the Dino Thunder Black, and I feel like it does work really well. It's an older Tommy Oliver, older Jason David Frank. Not quite as old as we got here, but I feel like it works, man. That looks good. Yeah, pops on there nice and easy, too. And last but certainly not least, we have the Lord Draken head sculpt. And again, it's the same head sculpt with the first release of Lord Draken and the Evo 3 figure. They just had slightly different paint apps. But it's the exact same. You have the same problem with the hair and the armor piece. But I think that looks nice. You can kind of get him like looking, he's only going to be able to look down. But I think that looks cool if you wanted him on the shelf like that. But I do have to say that the Valaverse head sculpt is my favorite on this figure. And I do think it's a lot more realistic looking Jason David Frank. If you have your reservations about it, I would say just wait till you get one in hand. And because for me, I didn't like the pictures online, but looking at them in hand, it looks a lot better than online. And then, of course, you can use the Valaverse head sculpt on your Lightning Collection figures as well. So that's how he looks on the Green Ranger figure. Seems like it sits a little high, but I think it looks pretty nice. If you wanted like an older Jason David Frank, like reprising his role as the Green Ranger. And just speed rounding it here, here's the Valaverse head on the White Tiger Ranger body, the Zeo Red Ranger body, the Turbo Red Ranger body, the Dino Thunder Black Ranger body, and the Lord Draken body. And I think that looks pretty awesome right there. That looks good. So, my final thoughts on the Legend of the White Dragon 2-pack, White Dragon, and Dragon Prime. Man, these figures are absolutely amazing. I love them. You can have your opinions about the movie and whether you're going to like it or not, or you like the idea of it or not. You can have your opinions on Valaverse as a company and whatever. I don't care. These figures are amazing. And if somebody's making amazing figures, if a property is producing these great looking figures and someone that I really was a big fan of wanted to take part of it, I'm all in, man. These things look great. They articulate great. The likenesses on the head sculpts are great. The paint apps are on point. I had that one little yellow smudge or gold smudge, whatever you want to call it, on one of the teeth. But man, you can get these guys in all sorts of great poses. The accessories are awesome. And Valaverse had the wherewithal to know where their audience was with this and make sure that all the parts, the heads and the hand pegs and all were interchangeable with Lightning Collection. And that was just very smart on their part. And they definitely did not skip out on this at all. The sculpting is great, and I really am. These figures make me even more excited for the movie than I already was, and I'm very happy to have another representation of the late Jason David Frank. With he passed doing this project. I don't know how much of it was done when he passed, but as far as I heard, this was one of his dream projects. He wanted to get this done, just like with the Hasbro Master Morpher. That's something that he wanted to bring to the fans. So this, next to that Master Morpher, are just going to be very prized possessions of mine. I can't recommend this set enough if you're a Jason David Frank fan, a Power Rangers fan. Just absolutely go out and get it. Once they're out of stock and once they're gone, they're going to shoot up in the aftermarket. But that's it, guys. I think I've rambled enough. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay up to date on all my upcoming content and, help the small channel out. We're growing slowly but surely. And, until next time, I appreciate you guys.